Okay, folks, welcome to a video on getting set up with pybind11 on Mac OS. I've done a few of these videos, so you can check out the different platforms if you're working on Ubuntu or Windows, for instance, but I want to talk about working on Mac OS. The help pages are pretty helpful, in fact, for pybind11, so I recommend using those as your default resource, but let me go ahead and show you how to get set up with pybind11. So what I have here is a sort of sample program. I'm going to be including the pybind11 header file and then exposing a few functions in Python from my C++ code. So here's the C++ code I have. I have an add function. I have this class, or rather a structure with a pet. I have a constructor with some member functions and some member variables. So just to get started, let me go ahead and come out of this. And if you just want to expose a single function, for example, as I've done here, and let me get rid of the comments, you can just add the definition to a pybind module, which is wrapped up in this macro here. So you can have multiple modules. This one I'm just calling my module M, and defining a function within that module called add. An add is essentially, it's named here, so how I'm going to call it in Python, and then a function pointer, or the address of a function, which is essentially a function pointer to this code here. Okay, and then you can have a little bit of help here or documentation, which is pretty neat. So again, why we can do this is, well, Python, if we think about it, it really is, it's implemented in C, maybe some C++, but that means that once we start Python, we're essentially executing a program that was made in C, so why wouldn't we be able to interface with it other C functions as we're doing here? So that's the idea with pybind. So not only can we do this with functions, but we can also expose or sort of get different types that we create. So not just functions, but the types or classes that we have. So here's an example of exposing the pet class in our module M. It's given a name, and then any of the functions that we want to member functions also exposed. So the constructor, the member functions, and then even member variables. So if we want read-write access or maybe just read access to some of these variables, we can expose those as well. I've just exposed everything to make it simple, but you can look on their object-oriented code sample, which I've borrowed from this pet here, for different ways to get different classes, set different properties, and some other helpful features here for things that you want to expose. So anyway, that's what we've got here. Now let's go ahead and try to build this code here. Okay, so let me make sure that this is saved. I believe I have it open in another file. That's okay. And let's build this. So I'm going to go ahead and just test it out once here so you can see that it works, and then explain some of these command arguments. So this has built our module here, and essentially what it's doing here, let me make this a little bit bigger for folks to read, is we have our C++ compiler. I'm using Clang because I'm on an Apple machine. It's modern C++, and then I'm creating a shared library here. So basically a dynamically loaded library is what our module is, okay? And then you might have to include any other paths you have in your code. I'm getting this sample ready to do some more interesting sort of graphicsy work, so you might have other include folders here. But then we need to also have a link to our Python, and I'm using version 3.9 here, to our pybind module and then its include. So if I just type in Python 3.9, the module that I'm loading, pybind11, and the includes for pybind, you can see it's going to bring in the header files that exist in these include paths here. So I'm just going to show those just so you can see them. And likewise, we also need to do that for our modules. So I'll use Python 3.9 -config, and then the library flags here. Okay, so these are our dynamic libraries here. So what libraries are we loading dynamically? Where are those paths here? Okay, so you can see what those are if you want to check if those are on your system. They should be in a similar location. Okay, so that is these two commands. Now what else we're doing here is building our module here. So this is what it's going to be named, mymodule.so. It's a shared object file. And then this is the file that we were compiling. This is pybind.cpp. That's this file here. Okay, so let me go ahead and show you how to use this. So I'm using 3.9. And I'm in the current directory where this module exists, so I can just import it by typing in my module. And if I do a little help here for my module, it's pretty neat. You can see the class that's been exposed, the function, you can see the help string that we wrote there. So it's pretty powerful that it grabs all that information. And then if I want to use one of these functions, I can just do the function call here and get the result. So pretty cool that it works there. Okay, so you can play around with that. You can do some other stuff. X equals my module let's see, we have pets here. So X, there you can see that it's been exposed. X.name equals something. So you get the idea. So now our class has been exposed. So something I want to show you to be careful with pybind is to make sure you're using the right version. So if I put something like 3.7 here for the config options, it's going to say, didn't find those libraries because we don't have version 3.7. So, when you're doing your brew install, I'm just going to do Python 3 here. Oh, I don't have the environment variable set up. But basically, if I do Python 3 and then the version that it's using, mine is 3.92, so I can get away with that. And you could see very briefly which versions I do have available on my machine. It is just Python 3 here, or 3.9 to be specific. So you do need that installed, and then you do need the Python 3 dev packages. I might have another terminal open that has this, so I'll show that in a moment. Let me actually just show it here so you can see what's going on here. Let's see if I do Python brew, just install Python 3. This should install the latest version, but just make sure you keep track of that. And it should install the dev version too. I think you might be able to try Python 3 dev depending on your install manager. I think Brew does it by default, but that's important that you do have the dev version. And you'll know it works if you have this config tool that I mentioned here. So you can do the 3.9-config here. Okay, and then actually get a tool that shows you how to use it. The other silly thing I was doing, if you've watched some of my other videos on this, is when I was first building this, I was trying to build it as a shared position independent code library here. And you can try this, but you might get errors about the architecture being wrong because I'm trying to build this shared library in a way that works on Linux systems. So just some things to be aware of if you get some of these weird errors. I'll put in the description the appropriate command line flag that I was using here to compile. I'll just bring it up on the screen one more time, but this is what actually works once you have the right version here, 3.9. So again, just a couple of things to be careful on. Other things that you might run into, I'm using the Clang compiler. You can try with G++, but you might need to install XCode and the XCode command line tools just to make sure you have any libraries that are needed when building pybind, or if it's being built behind the scenes for any package manager. So just a few things you can try if it's not working for you on the first time, but this is what will work for you. Okay, hopefully this was helpful and gets you a head start on doing interesting things with pybind 11.